Sony is paying devs to stay away from Game Pass. And what can we expect from Xbox at Gamescom? Let's discuss. Just a reminder, if you take a look down at the description below, I have links for all sorts of Xbox gear. I've been talking a lot about the ultimate wired Xbox controller by 8BitDo. That's down there as well. You can buy it through Best Buy. If you want to get in on this new generation of Xbox cloud gaming, I also have some links for some Samsung TVs that support the Xbox Game Pass app that they're coming out with. And here to discuss with me once again is the immaculate, the illustrious, the big bamboozler, Jimmy Champagne.
It's me.
And Jimmy, I know you're going to love this first story that we're going to go over because...
Oh, I'm looking. I see it.
It is all about cloud gaming. Once again, Twitter user Nobel, he posted this thing saying that he saw the Xbox cloud gaming logo on certain titles like Elden Ring, GTA, and Soul Hackers 2, I believe.
Oh.
So we already sort of knew this was going to happen, or this is something that Microsoft has been wanting to do, make it to where games that you own, you can play on the cloud as well, not just limiting it to the Xbox Cloud Gaming Library or the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate Library. So yeah, now we're faced with the possibility maybe of being able to play Elden Ring on your phone. Holy crap! I don't know how that would work because Elden Ring historically has run pretty badly across all. It's not badly, but it's not as optimized on all the platforms.
Honestly, this is cool. Like giving you a way to play games you already bought through the cloud. And we also heard that they're figuring out a way to do this with disc games, right? Like where it'll somehow tie a disc game to your account and then you'll be able to stream it from the cloud.
I feel like it wasn't about cloud usage, but digital usage. Like if you have a Series S or something, you can still get like a used copy of a game, get the digital authentication to play that game and download it too.
Yeah.
But what if I told you I had breaking news? Microsoft is saying that this Xbox Cloud Gaming logo on Elden Ring on the Microsoft Store was a bug. Well, It was a bug. So what if I told you we spent the last 5 minutes talking about this? Like I said earlier, we know that this is a goal for Xbox, saying that they want to give you a way to play the games that you pay for outside of Game Pass. But people were also talking about this, being able to play Elden Ring, GTA, big games like that on the cloud. They could possibly announce that as a feature at Gamescom coming up in just a couple months, right?
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be kind of a cool feature to announce. They got to figure something out there just to compete with the Steam Deck handheld supremacy that's going on.
I feel like this is the next step, but tentatively we know that cloud gaming isn't at the spot right now that it needs to be its standalone thing. It's a great option to have. It's a great,
I don't think it can ever get there.
You don't think ever?
I don't know. I just think there's always going to be some sort of interruption, some sort of like latency. There's no way to make it so you always have internet. And there's a huge chunk of the country that while we can get gigabit and all these great internet speeds, that you can't get that in.
That is true. Maybe it won't be, their own standalone thing in favor of console gaming, but it could be. I'm into it. I'm into the idea. So maybe they'll have a huge cloud gaming announcement at Gamescom. We got to talk about this random ass video you sent me when I was about to pretty much go to sleep. And Jimmy sends me this video of this White Elite Series 2. We talked about it in a previous video, just the single host vids. But first of all, when you sent it to me, it had like 80 views tops. It's from a YouTuber who has 1 subscriber. But sure enough, it was legit. The more he unpackaged it, the more legit it looked.
So because I'm always searching for weird leak stuff, it feeds me this stuff as soon as it posts. So yeah, I found this one, I had like 2 views, and it was just a guy playing with it. And honestly, I grabbed my Elite 2. I don't think you could fake this super easily because of that textured material. Like, because you could take apart any controller and just spray paint it, and it would probably look pretty good. But that textured material made its way onto this controller, and I tried to like look as close as I could. It doesn't look like it was masked off and painted. I think this is real.
I think what would be the hardest to replicate if you were coming at it from a spray painting modding angle would be the YBXA buttons, because they had a certain white that you only see on the design lab or something like that. It's
true.
That's hard to replicate. We were over the moon just a couple of videos ago with news from Jez Corden himself saying on Twitter, we might get an Elite Series 3 before the end of the year, because this other guy was saying, 2023, early 2023, Elite Series 3, it's going to be tied to a major release. So is it going to be Forza Motorsport 8? Is it going to be Redfall? What's it going to be? And we were like, oh my God, that's dope, because we've been sitting with the Elite Series 2 for how long? Over 4 years, at least.
A long time.
It's been a while. It's been a minute since we've had a new controller, and which is strange because you'd think new console, new Elite, new Pro controller.
Right, because it's an Xbox One controller at its core. I'd really like to see an improved version. And knowing that Sony's working on a DualSense Pro, I don't think the Elite Series 2 is going to cut it versus that, because you don't have the haptics, you don't have the adaptive triggers. The only thing you really have is the paddles and just the higher premium quality. The big draw was USB-C when it came out, but now the regular, any old average Series X controller has USB-C, so you're really not losing that much by just getting a Series X controller. So yeah, I hope that this is like just something they've been working on, and maybe the supply chain issues they're having with other controllers stop them from releasing it when they wanted to, and they're actually going to release an Elite Series 3. But they gotta, like, they need that better controller, I think.
Totally agree. It's been people have been waiting on it. This is a great opportunity to kind of leave behind some of those quality control issues that they've had in the past and start over on a new leaf, saying, listen, we've improved this, we got a new controller for you to use with your Series X and give you that competitive edge. But yeah, it begs the question, if they drop this Elite Series 2 controller, if it is a real thing and it goes into mass production, what does that mean? Like, I feel like you don't want to drop an Elite Series 2, get people to buy that, and then drop the new version, because what's the point of that?
That's such a Microsoft move. Like, they've done stuff like that before. I feel like they might do that. And also, Gamescom might be a good time to announce either this controller or the Elite Series 3 if they are working on it.
Yeah, maybe like make the Elite Series 2 cheaper, but it's got a new fancy color, and then they come out with the new. I could see it, but I would much rather just have the Elite Series 3. Next up, we have a bold claim from video game analyst Michael Pachter. He is essentially claiming that once this Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal closes, and with the moves that Microsoft is currently doing, Game Pass is easily going to get to 100 million subscribers, up from the 25 million subscribers that we see right now. Or, I'm sure it's a little bit more. The Game Pass has grown subscriber count since that 25 million number, but he's coming out guns blazing, and he's saying 100 million subs because of the Activision Blizzard deal, because of cloud gaming, because it's going to be available on every device and a whole bunch more supported regions. What do you think about 100 million? That's a huge number, obviously.
Dude, this guy is notorious for running his mouth on saying crazy stuff. He was really bold during the PS3 generation, saying like this will end Sony and like all this stuff. And he was really hard on the PS4 for some reason. I remember people were like always reporting on his stuff. He makes crazy predictions. I disagree with that number by a wide. Just because.
Or are we talking 100 million over like 7 years, or like 1 or 2 years? Because that's a very big difference. What I think it's going to come down to is whatever they do with Xbox Live Gold and how much conversion they get off of that, because that's well over 100 million subscribers, Xbox Live Gold. So how they proceed to do that and like bundle existing users and converting them into Game Pass subscribers, whether they give the ability to play online with the bottom tier of Game Pass. Do you think the accessibility of cloud gaming and having Game Pass on other devices other than an Xbox would help that?
I think they'll obviously get a lot of people to subscribe once Call of Duty is on there, because Call of Duty is going to end up on Game Pass once this Activision deal goes through. But they're also putting Modern Warfare 2 back on Steam this year, instead of forcing you to use Battle.net. So I am telling you right now, I will buy whatever Call of Duty game comes out once this deal closes on Steam. I don't like the Game Pass app. Their games run worse on PC for some reason than they do when you buy them on Steam. Don't really understand that. And whatever Activision account or Call of Duty account you have, that will definitely transfer your saves and stats. So I feel like most PC players are in that same boat where they've tried games like Back 4 Blood or whatever else, like, I don't know, Psychonauts 2, all these games that end up on the PC Game Pass app, they realize they run worse.
There are some questions about that. I know not a lot of people are a fan of the Xbox app on PC.
It's so bad.
But in terms of consoles, yeah, you throw Call of Duty games onto Game Pass day one, especially. I'm pretty sure that's the preferred way to buy these Call of Duty games, especially if they continue with like a yearly release after they take this little break. It's like the same thing if you were to put, the Madden games on there. I would much rather play them through Game Pass rather than buying the updated Madden 23, 24 just for the rosters. You know what I mean?
Madden and Call of Duty definitely makes sense to become platforms where you just buy an add-on every year for Madden.
100%. Because the gameplay is changing. It's just like they throw in like a new My Career mode or something with like, and then an updated roster, and they're like every year it's like, look at the sweat on these players' faces. I'm like,
who cares?
Who cares?
Like 2K could become that. Call of Duty definitely could, where you don't have to buy the campaign unless you want to. There's just like an add-on to the Call of Duty platform. There are plenty of games that make sense for this, and we'll definitely get to that point. Michael Pachter makes these predictions to generate news stories all the time. I wouldn't put too much stock in it. It makes sense that Xbox really wants to push Game Pass though, because that's their real moneymaker. They just got to start making some games. They've got all these studios working on stuff, but then nothing comes out of it.
The true test or watermark to see if Game Pass is like amazing or just good will come in 2023 for sure, when we start seeing Redfall, Arc 2, Starfield.
2022 seems like a dead year for games. It's just like nothing's
100%.
And 2021 kind of was too, which sucks. So hopefully 2023 actually turns out good.
Speaking of Game Pass, Microsoft has made an explosive claim. They are officially calling out Sony. It's like crazy levels of beef. Activision Blizzard, the Microsoft deal, is being reviewed by all these different countries, the FTC in America, the regulatory boards in the EU and the UK, and now they're going through that process in Brazil. And Sony had submitted statements saying, we think that we're afraid that if Call of Duty is available on Xbox and Game Pass exclusively, that it's going to influence people to buy Xboxes, give them the audacity to buy Xboxes instead of a PlayStation 5. And they are also saying that Game Pass is anti-competitive. And then Microsoft was like, yo, Sony pays these developers to keep their games off of Game Pass and to keep them off of Xbox consoles, and that is BS. We know that they do that. They're like brazenly doing this. So yeah, they've been doing. I mean, where's Final Fantasy VII Remake, bro? Where has that been? It's been 2 years since that game has been out.
That's never coming to Xbox. Final Fantasy. Well, I think Sony's about to buy Square Enix. Like Square, the rumor is that the reason they sold off Eidos and Crystal Dynamics and Tomb Raider and yada 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 is because they're preparing for Sony to buy them. Because Sony was probably like, yeah, we don't need all this extra stuff. We don't really want another third person action game. We want your Japanese talent and your Japanese IP. Get ready to be bought.
They're not taking away the option to play it on a PlayStation console, those games. It's like they're just giving you an alternative.
Yeah, but whereas PlayStation is Xbox bought Bethesda and Xbox is
Here's what I will say about that. Here's what I'll say. At least they're buying it and like developing it themselves. They're not like going and like freaking, I don't know, taking
the funny thing is Xbox could do the same thing. Like they could just say, Sony's paying you to keep Final Fantasy VII Remake on PlayStation. We'll pay you double what they're paying to get it on Xbox. But they're just not doing it.
But I hate this argument that like, oh, Final Fantasy doesn't sell well on Xbox consoles. And it's like, you pay to keep it off for forever. There's like no marketing behind it. And when they come over, sometimes the games aren't freaking optimized. They don't run well, like at least in like the Final Fantasy series. And then you turn around and it's like, oh, they don't sell very well. When you put like the minimum effort into like promoting it, Xbox is taking these games that were third party for forever and making them exclusive. When it's like Sony does the same damn thing. Yeah, it's a much more complicated issue than Sony is bad, Xbox is good, or there's a lot because I don't even know the contract details that Sony approved approaches these developers with, and I don't know the contract details that Microsoft approaches. So like, this is all just stuff based on my own personal experience. I know that in reality, it's a much more gray issue, a more nuanced issue than what people make it out to be. But yeah, those are just my gut feelings as someone who's followed, the video game industry for a little bit, has been a consumer of video games for a while, and someone who's owned both platforms over the years. The only PlayStation I didn't own was a PlayStation 4. So it's like, and I know that was a pretty big era to miss out on, but yeah.
Now you can play all the games in 60 FPS on the PS5, which is awesome.